For the latest, we can cross to Jerusalem now and check in with our correspondent, Noga Tarnopolsky. Noga, good morning. It seems the U.S. and Israel continue to expand their attacks.
That's right. Absolutely relentless and really expanding, I think, by any standard that we look at. This U.S. claim, let's say for now, I don't think we've gotten confirmation from Iran, but it's extremely dramatic. It's really, if President Trump is correct and the U.S. has really smashed to smithereens all of the installations on this one island, um, this could be the beginning of a completely new phase of this war. This is an attempt to cripple Iran's ability to function as a state. And we might remember just a few days ago, the United Arab Emirates that claimed some sort of property rights over Kharg. There was just a little bit of talk out of the United Arab Emirates 2 days ago saying, well, if this continues, we might want to claim our rights over Kharg and another island in the same strait. And Iran responded basically by saying, that's going to trigger World War III if you do that. So what we have now is a day and a half later, the United States president basically claiming that the U.S. has gone ahead and done that. I'm speaking with a little bit of caution because I haven't yet heard full-throated confirmation either from the U.S. military or from Iran that this in fact happened. I don't know if it may have been a little bit of wishful thinking on the part of Donald Trump, but if it's the case, we may have entered a completely new phase, one even more unrestrained than where we've been earlier. And regarding Tabriz, yes, it's new, but Israel has been saying and also has been operating in such a way as really, that this vast territory of all of Iran is kind of the theater of its operation. Israel has, I think, basically claimed aerial superiority along with the United States over Iran. And Iran, we do know, has a very decentralized system for, forget nuclear facilities, just for its military, standard military facilities, which Israel has declared as its target right now in this phase of the war. So while it is a new part of this front, I don't think we should be too surprised that Israel is issuing or declaring or announcing that more and more and more targets are going to be hit all over Iran.
And Noga, we're now 2 full weeks into this conflict. Do we have any clearer sense at this point of when it might end?
We really don't. And if anything, Allison, we have something like more of a chaos. It's a very strange realization to be here in Jerusalem and to have come to understand that basically Israeli authorities are listening to every single statement made by Donald Trump, just like we are. There seems to be a very strong and very close level of cooperation between the Israeli military and the U.S. military. The Israeli Air Force even released a kind of a small clip of a U.S. pilot and an Israeli pilot having a brief exchange, which is our first concrete indication, by the way, of that the two air forces may be operating together, not just in coordination in a greater front, Israel taking over one area and the United States another, but that they may be actually operating on a plane by plane level. But in terms of just a general war plan, more and more it does appear, from my point of view here in Israel, that there is no plan, and that the hope of both the United States and Israel is that they would attack Iran to smithereens, and that then the people would arise spontaneously, that there would be some popular takeover. It's a very difficult thing to imagine, given that the population of Iran is unarmed and also is being bombed very heavily. But yesterday, we also saw a similar effort on the part of Israel in Lebanon, on this other front, with pamphlets that were dropped in Beirut and that seemed to threaten Lebanese people that if this war continues in Lebanon, their country will be flattened like Gaza was in what's now a 2.5 year war between Israel and Hamas, and that basically called on them to rise up against Hezbollah, a very powerful militia armed by Iran that is reasserting itself during this war in southern Lebanon and attacking Israel. So you can imagine that a militia strong enough to threaten daily life and disrupt daily life in Israel now for 2 weeks is not something a normal, average, unarmed citizen could come rise up against. And yet again, this appears to be either an excuse, a pretext on the part of Israel in Lebanon, or part of a general Israeli-American policy in this war, hoping that they'll do the violent part of the work, and then just the regular people in these countries will do the rest of the work. I want to add lastly that we also had a very strong sense of this from Prime Minister Netanyahu's only live statement during this war so far, 2 nights ago. He even at one point seemed to be addressing Iranians more than he was addressing Israelis and goading them almost. At one point, he said about all of Israel's military action in Iran, he said to the Iranians, it's up to you. You have to take over. And then he added, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, as if Israel had some sort of actual expectation that Iranians were supposed to take to the streets and haven't yet. It's a bit of a strange circumstance we're in because there's no military doctrine and also there's no historical evidence that such an expectation has any place in a war like this.
And Noga, just before we let you go, I want to ask you about an alert that we recently got from French news agency AFP saying that Hamas has issued a statement urging Iran to stop targeting its neighbors. That hasn't been confirmed by other sources yet, but just how significant might it be? I mean, why would Hamas make such a request to Iran?
I really don't know what to say about this. I saw this AFP alert. It doesn't have sources within Hamas, which leads me to wonder how deeply how seriously we must take it. Hamas is an organization with many divisions within it. So, for example, the leadership, the political leadership of Qatar, those who show their face in public, of Hamas, excuse me, are in Qatar. And you might say that Qatar, now being under attack, could have exerted some kind of pressure on Hamas to say, quit attacking your neighbors. But without knowing who this has come from, no name, no division, no sense of it comes from the military part of Hamas that is still ruling in Gaza, which is important to mention, or from their political leadership, it's really hard to know. The other thing is Hamas has not joined the fighting at all. Hamas has been very quiet and actually has respected the terms of the Gaza ceasefire, unlike Hezbollah in Lebanon that did not. And so I think we have to just wait to see if this story will still grow and we get more details about who in Hamas is making this suggestion, and then we might understand what impact it might have.